Alrighty then, we'll just set up and wait for people to get in here. Copy. Alrighty, we'll wait to get some people in here, I suppose. Set up a few things here. All right. Okie doke. Whoa! Okay, right. There are a lot of people all of a sudden in here. I look down and then look back up and right. Ultra wide angle. Yeah, look, this is the first time I've ever done this. So does my head look like a football laying on its side, or are we all good? Ah, David, hello. Coral Fields, who am I talking to? Oh, sweet. Jeez, awesome. I hope everyone's week has been good so far. It is only Tuesday. It feels like November, but yeah, it is only Tuesday, so the lighting in here is terrible. But we'll deal. We will deal. I'll put my glasses on, my eyes are hurting. Oh, it's not fun. Right. Oh dear. Tired. Worn out. Yeah, I think the next thing that happens is just, continents will just start either exploding or sinking. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, you know, as bad as COVID-19 is, hopefully it'll take out some of the stupid people. Oh, oh. Should have made a coffee. That's all right. Is everyone prepared with refreshments? Anton, who am I talking to? Who is it? That is Anton's 85. Oh, of course, you're drinking a protein smoothie. You're yeah. Anthony. Welcome. Oh. So, while we're waiting for people, because we've started quite early, as we usually do, just to warm up and, you know, let people get in here and comfortable. Are there any questions that anyone had that they would like me to address, or wondering if I'm going to address, about probiotic bacteria or bacteria microbes or the microbial herd or the ecology of microbes within aquatic systems in general? Is there anything anyone wanted me to cover or wants me to cover and wondering whether I'm going to? Because we've got time. It's only 7:20. We have, as I said, we started early, so if you guys have anything that you want to talk about or you want to, you know, get some info on, let me know. Okay. Yep. I can address that. Look, there are some very, very, very good and proficient farmers in Southeast Asia, farming a variety of species, including prawns. But there are people that have unorthodox practices in regards to doing, you know, putting their own fecal matter into ponds. Generally speaking, they're either using that as a sewage system because they don't care, or that's just where their sewage goes, or they're trying to use it to fertilize the pond, thinking that they can save a little bit of money on fertilizer. Back in the day, they used to throw pig manure and chook manure and stuff in there. There even used to be systems, probably still are systems, where you know, they have poultry in a cage over the top of the dam or pond, and as the chicken manure falls down in there, it provides nitrogen and phosphorus for the bacterial blooms. The algal blooms, well, and bacterial blooms in the system, and that fuels bacterial growth and algae growth specifically, really, and the fish feed off that. Common in carp systems and tilapia systems and stuff like that. Generally speaking, it's pretty much been, you know, phased out. A lot more efficient ways to farm fish. So, David, I will get into where these strains come from. I've got a bit of a, yeah, I think you guys are going to find it interesting. Oh my God. I'm going to have to make a coffee. before we start. There's just no there's just no way around it. But I'll answer this question first. In regards to bacteria, look, the majority of probiotic bacteria have either been isolated from wastewater treatment systems. And just because they come from a wastewater treatment system doesn't mean that they're not suitable for any other aquatic system. Or they've been isolated from aquatic systems, aquaculture systems in general, by themselves. So it depends on what the strain is, and more specifically, what the genes and enzymes and mode of function of that specific strain is, or subspecies, and how it works within the system. It's not as simple as just saying wastewater bacteria and aquarium bacteria or aquaculture bacteria. The two cross over. Where one exists, the other will exist. It's not that only these exist in one spot and only these exist in another. There are circumstances where you do get that, which is, I'll go into that as well. Even take a very novel heterotrophic probiotic bacteria, Bacillus subtilis, and there's some fairly interesting information about that. But there are so many different substrains of Bacillus subtilis. You can have two strains of Bacillus subtilis that have one or two genes different, and they will operate in completely different ways. They will consume different waste products. They will break down different sorts of waste. They will have different probiotic effects on animals that ingest them or on the environment. They will, excrete different antimicrobial, and antifungal substances into the water. I'll get into that, David. I think you'll find it very interesting. I hope you guys are going to find it interesting. Probiotic bacteria has become very popular, and we'll go into that. It's 7:30. I'm going to go and make myself a coffee. So talk amongst yourselves. You can enjoy a few of my beer while I'm gone. Hey John, how you going? You would win $20. It is homebrew. It is my stout. And right in front of me, you can't see, but are the taps on my keg fridge. So I can be live streaming, and every now and then you'll see my beer glass empty and go down here, and I'll pour a beer and you come back up. So, yeah, it's very convenient. You won't need coffee, David. It's always an adrenaline rush, my live streams. So it's just, you'll be high on information, mate. Who have we got here? Well, it says we've got 7 participants, but it's only showing up 5. So, you know, YouTube for the win. Oh, that's good coffee. Oh. All right. Let's see how things are going over on Facebook, and if anyone has where to go. One notification. I think I should probably put it in the event information. I think that's probably a good idea. So let's do that, and then people might get an update on that. Ooh. What is going on here? When I work out how to, you know, operate stuff, it's going to be great. Okay. We're off and running. No worries, John. I haven't got access to the IOAA. Yeah. I'm sure Graham, someone from the IOAA, will take the link and post it in there. I assume that most, if not all of them, are probably on the futures page. I'm not a member of Facebook clubs, honestly. All right, sweet. Good work. Thank you very much. Look, it's easier to archive. It doesn't get lost. Once I really figure it out, I can invite more people in to talk about it. I can use Streamlabs as well. I used to use Streamlabs a little bit for online gaming. So I can use Streamlabs and then bring more people in on Streamlabs to talk to them and broadcast to Facebook and YouTube simultaneously. So I think it's probably just, my thoughts are, a more centralized platform that's maybe a little bit easier to work with. I'm trying it though. I'm not an expert, so you know we'll see what happens. Essentially, Facebook Live is never ideal. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm sure we're going to get a lot of questions about denitrification in particular. We will be covering that. Okay, so what were we going to do? I did put a post up saying what I was going to cover. And it's not here, and I need to go and find that to remind myself of the subjects that I'm going to cover, because I can't remember. Because reasons and stuff. Let's search. Have I lost it? Have I lost it? Possibly. Never know. I have been known to lose things from time to time. Here we go. Got it. Okay. So, I did lose it a while ago, you're right. Well, yeah, I do have it at work. I just don't bring it home with me. The plug-in mouse and keyboard. Find it a lot easier to work with. So, we tonight are going to be covering nitrifying bacteria first, because there's not as much involved than there is with heterotrophic bacteria or probiotic bacteria. So nitrifying bacteria, we're going to cover metabolism, what they eat and how they eat it, the types of nitrifying organisms within aquatic systems, water quality ranges and important testing to perform to ensure that you maintain optimal conditions for your nitrifying bacteria, and isolating and growing nitrifying bacteria for commercial use. And I'll also cover that in the probiotic bacteria as well. Because we recently did a whole lot of R&D in product development, and I think you guys will find that interesting, of what we did and what's actually involved. Probiotic bacteria uses metabolism, manipulation of water quality and nutrients to achieve different outcomes. Use in aquatic systems, nitrate and phosphate reduction in marine and freshwater systems, the types of denitrification and the effect that they have on water quality, and aging systems and the effect on the microbial herd diversity, and how probiotics can help. So there's a few different subjects in there that we're going to cover, and I'm sure we will digress along the way. as I get questions, and please fire them at me. Oh, people are running late. I've only got 5 people in here so far. Oh, look, it hasn't even started yet, David. So, yeah, people will be here, I'm sure. I'm not going to now, no. No, I've already set up here, and it's pretty much the same. They just need to click on a link. So, yeah. It would be the same with Zoom. Change is as good as a holiday. So let's bear with it. I'm sure people will come along. Okay. Wow. Hello, Zoe. In the past, I've heard wonders about raising potassium to help corals. Is this related to helping beneficial bacteria? Potassium, although probably important to some degree for metabolic processes of bacteria, as it is for us. I wouldn't imagine that it would get so limited in a marine system that bacteria wouldn't have access to ample amounts of potassium. Potassium is around 400. It's similar to calcium, isn't it? 480 or 460 or something like that. It's been so long since I've looked at it. But you would have to have hugely depleted potassium levels to negatively impact metabolic processes of bacteria in general. Look, splitting hairs, there's probably bacteria that allow the passage or metabolism of potassium through corals as they eat them a little bit better. But as far as I'm aware, 400 natural levels. Okay, raising to 450. Okay. So as far as I'm aware, although it might be part of an enzymatic pathway for bacteria in general, I don't think that you would ever have such a limitation within any aquatic system. Not any aquatic system, but probably marine systems in particular. You'd never have a depleted level that low that it would have any effect on it. Increasing it to 450, I would think that would probably be due to changing the composition of aragonite, maybe, as well as I've heard potassium is involved in more so algae respiration as a part of NPK and photosynthesis, obviously. Nutrient uptake, as all plants, algae being one of them, require potassium. It also is said to enhance blue coloration within corals, which I'm sure you've heard back from the research that Red Sea did quite some number of years ago. Oh, oh. And with their Red Sea Reef Foundation program, which honestly really gave the industry a step up. And there's been plenty of imitators. Let's face it. Some of them, take a leaf out of their book and go, "Oh, okay, well, yeah, it's essentially a alteration on, I think, the balling method or something like that." But they sort of went a step further and looked at the ratios and levels within coral skeleton and coral tissue and stuff. Then you got a couple of guys who pretty much copied it, and it was very obvious what they'd done. And yeah, although their products work quite well. I digress though. So I'm not aware of that, but Zoe, do you have any information on that I could potentially read? We have found so much information over the past probably 2 months. We've had 3 projects in particular that have used our nitrifying bacteria mix, and we've been mapping and recording all of our water parameters for the startup. And there's some really interesting data that we've been gathering, as well as some very interesting findings. For example, in our nitrifying bacteria mix, we've actually found that we've managed to isolate a strain that not only nitrifies both ammonia and nitrite in one strain, but also within the mix, and we've got 4 different strains within our mix. One of those strains nitrifies nitrite with no production of nitrate, and we believe that strain also denitrifies nitrate in the presence of oxygen very, very successfully, and we can actually map it. We've got ammonia going up, ammonia coming down, nitrite going up, nitrite coming down, nitrate going up and then coming down and going down and coming up a little bit and going down. But as it's maintained very low levels of nitrate, and I'm talking like 5 to 10 parts per million, we've seen as the nitrate's going down, the alkalinity is going up, which will be something that I'll get into with dissimilatory denitrification and the sequestering of alkalinity back to the system. And as I go through and explain the metabolic processes of both nitrifying and denitrifying bacteria, that will become more clear. So I'm a nerd for data. I love data. I love numbers. It allows me to diagnose and pick apart problems and things like that. So it's been very, very interesting, very fun as well. The effects of temperature as well as salinity on nitrification as well has been very interesting. So yeah, been having some fun. Could you explain to me, Zoe, what the crux of the information was in regards to raising potassium levels and its connection with beneficial bacteria? And was that nitrifying bacteria, or was it probiotic bacteria, or both, or just bacteria in general within the aquarium system? So do you have any recollection of what they were sort of talking about that might spur my memory at all? Okay, so I'm lucky I'm checking Facebook because I've got people asking how they can get in. Tim. So we're talking to people in the industry and conferences, and it's popped up about bacteria maybe being linked. Look, it's definitely possible. I'd by no means rule it out. Could it have something to do with the Redfield ratio, perhaps? Maybe. So I would love to see Red Sea's notes on this because it would just make everything so much easier to do. When Red Sea were developing NO3PO4X and when they were mapping the denitrification or denitrification in general, whether it is dissimilatory anaerobic or assimilatory, which is aerobic denitrification, they identified not only the different steps within each of those pathways, your anaerobic and aerobic pathways for nitrate removal in the aquatic system, but they also found the enzymatic requirements, the metabolic requirements, and the oxidative requirements of each of those steps. So for dissimilatory denitrification, it would start with nitrate, it will go to nitrous oxide, maybe nitrite if there wasn't the right compounds in there, back to nitrous oxide, could even transfer back into ammonia and go back and forth between the two, and then eventually get denitrified down into nitrogen gas, which would then be off-gassed. Now, they found, they identified the different enzymatic requirements of the bacteria to do it most efficiently and to stop those intermediate steps back to nitrite or back to ammonia or whatever it might be, to essentially streamline and maximize the efficiency of the system. I know a lot of those were, things like really obscure ions like manganese and ferrous sulfate and stuff, different bits and pieces like that are just so limited might not be manganese, but that are so limited in a marine aquarium system that they were including it in the NOPOX to ensure that it was available for the bacteria to actually metabolize, and that allowed them that research that they did and the development of that product is why it is such a predictable and reliable and effective product. I keep going on about NOPOX. I'll have to buy shares in it, I think. But it is just a brilliant product. Yeah, it's live, Tim. Yep, we're live. We're just waiting for people to come in. It's 5 to 8. I'm expecting more people. I mean, we have 30-something people coming. We're just chilling out for the moment, shooting the breeze, talking crap, really, while everyone gets excited. I hope everyone has beverages. What's everyone hydrating with? Let's have some banter before the live stream starts, so we don't get too involved in it before everyone starts and they miss out on too much. We're not officially started yet. So what are we sipping on? David, you'd be sipping on like a, I don't know, fruit tingle with an umbrella in it or something, wouldn't you? Oh, pure blonde. Ugh. Nah, that's all right. Pure blonde. Disaronno and Coke. Sorry, I have to claim ignorance there. I have no idea what that is. What is disarray? Oh, it's amaretto. Okay, right. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, all right. I know boats. I know boats. I know boats. Little Creatures Pale Ale. Oh, oh, craft beer for the win. Thank you very much, David. Represent. Thank you. Fruit Tingle. It's one of those fruity vodka drinks that they used to sell for $2 a drink in nightclubs happy hour that everyone used to buy. Oh, mate, I'm right with you there. The craft beer scene, I ham brew. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of all that sort of stuff. It's winter, so I'm drinking black beer mostly at the moment. But I'm just waiting for a keg to free up so I can put a pale ale in it, essentially. But yeah, amaretto and Coke, Zoe. I don't know how would that go down. I don't even know. I think you're gonna have to educate me a bit more on this. I think we're gonna have to talk about this. You're gonna have to educate me a little bit more. It sounds interesting. It sounds very interesting. Imagine if you could make homebrew low carb beer. Yeah, of course you can. All you do is you brew your beer and then you use a enzyme called glucoamylase, which, interestingly enough, a lot of these enzymes, alpha amylase, glucoamylase, protease, things like that, they're all enzymes that are produced by probiotic bacteria, and a lot of the probiotics that you buy in powder form actually have these enzymes to fortify their effectiveness, to essentially chop up the food so that the bacteria can get at them easier. So that glucoamylase, what it does is the unfermentable or harder to ferment sugars, it essentially grabs them and chews them up and breaks them down so that the yeast can ferment them a lot easier. So, for instance, this stout here finished at a specific gravity of about 1.014, I think. 1.014, 1.012. If you were to brew a ginger beer or a cider, it would generally finish at below 1. Probably 0.990. It's pretty much water by the time it ferments out. Very simple sugar. A lot of these stouts that have maltose and maltodextrin and lactose and different things like that, and different sorts of malts, and malt, like light dry extract malts, dark and light and things like that, they're not completely fermentable. So you need an enzyme, and glucoamylase is very good at that because it breaks down those sugars that aren't able to be broken down more easily by the yeast or by alpha amylase, for example, and creates what they call a low carb beer. Essentially, that means that there's no residual sugars in it, but it's all being pretty much converted to alcohol. The kicker is that when you consume alcohol, your body actually just turns that back into sugar and fat. So drinking low. Okay, so are you guys dropping out or am I dropping out? I guess is the question. Okay, this is an issue. If someone could please do me a favor and keep an eye. Oh, there we go. That's the reason. It's very rainy and very overcast here at the moment, and obviously my upload speed is at 10 megabytes per second, so I don't think that's the issue. 11 megabytes per second. So I don't think that's the issue. I've shut down a heap of things. What I'll do, it's now 8:03. We do have any that aren't required. And maybe that'll free up a little bit of bandwidth. 2 secs. so I have no explanation for it. We've only got Netflix running on one TV, so megabits, megabytes, you know. Yeah. So look, let's continue on, see if it gets better. It is entirely possible that it is just the weather here at the moment, and I can't do anything about that. I really can't do anything about that. I'm sorry, guys. So we'll just have to cope, for lack of a better description. I could see stream health here somewhere, but send feedback. No, I don't know. Look, I'm not gonna mess with it. Let's just see how we go. And you know, if it keeps happening, then I'll sound like Optimus Prime. So. All right. Yeah, look, I'm not changing now, Paul. I'm not changing now. We're too far in, and we'll try this. We'll try and see how it goes. We're too far in, and we'll try this. We'll try and see how it goes. Not as many people on this live stream, but hopefully, maybe we can get some more people soon. Maybe my participant counter isn't very accurate. We'll see how we go. See how we go. All right, so let's start, because you're all here, and you know, if people aren't here, then and they miss out on a little bit, then they can go back and look, and honestly, it's their own damn fault. So they should have been there earlier. Let me pull up my list again, because as an idiot, I didn't save the subject matter that I was going to talk about. So now I've got to go back and search yet again. Okay, here we go. Now what I'm going to do, just so I can close this window, I am going to copy and paste that into a Word document. Because you know what? It doesn't take up bandwidth. Bear with me just a second here while I organise my unorganised self. Go away. Right, okay. All right, now we're sorted. Right, let's close that. Okay. What? I do. Look, no, they should just be able to click the link. I've been on heaps of live streams, and they should just be able to click the link. I reckon if I went there and I clicked the link, I'd be able to come straight through. Because they even had the thumbnail that I put up on the live stream. So, yeah, look, they'll figure it out. They'll figure it out. And if they don't, they can go back and watch it. It's fine. So, yeah, it's all sweet. All right, so for people who don't know who I am, all right, so for people who don't know who I am, my name is Gareth Barber. I work for Pure Aquatics. I've been in the industry for over 15 years now. Started in aquaculture, went and worked in aquariums. Come back into aquaculture, and I am currently designing and building fish farms yet again. My background in probiotic bacteria is that we sort of got, where I worked in the past, we developed a few bacterial products. There were a couple of bacterial products that were already existing, but there were some new bacterial products that came on the market that we did a lot of R&D on. I did a lot of work personally on it with a couple of other people. And through then and through that knowledge over the past 10 to 12 years, maybe a little bit more, it becomes very apparent that everything within an aquatic system is either reliant on or influenced by metabolic processes from bacteria. Because we run a closed system and it's an organic system, it's very reliant on bacteria. And if you can manipulate your water quality and manipulate the way that you adjust and dose that bacteria and nurture that bacteria, you can have a very powerful system. And the old adage that you don't keep water, you keep fish, rings true in this case. And to go into a little bit deeper, it's not water that you keep, it's the bacteria. You're actually farming bacteria. If you keep the bacteria keep the water, and the water keep the fish. It all starts with your microbial herd. So where I started out doing probiotic bacteria, we came up developing two different types of bacteria, and they quickly became the two best-selling products within that company for quite some time. I then moved on to working in retail, where I used a lot of different sorts of probiotic bacteria with varying success, a lot of them with very good success. And also around that time, the advent of biopellets came out, and the research into probiotic bacteria and how they interacted within the aquatic system, especially in regards to aquariums, developed to a point where people were actually going, you know what, this isn't actually snake oil. This stuff actually does have some merit and it does work. So when I then started working back in aquaculture, some more probiotic bacterial products became available to us. And then when I then left that company, and a little bit over 2.5 years ago, my very good mates and now my bosses, Lindsay Hopper and Ryan Wicker, who started Pure Aquatics, who I've worked with throughout my entire career in aquaculture, they decided that they wanted to start their own company, and they brought me on board. And after about 4 to 5 months, we started doing some very heavy research and development into isolating, like collecting samples and isolating bacteria. And also we did buy in some commercial strains as well, some samples of some commercial strains from microbe libraries and things like that. And developed our own. So that's sort of where my background comes in. It's not the evolution, you know, and either buy in or find the strains that we wanted and grow them here in Australia and produce them fresh in such a way that we knew we were getting what we wanted. And there's a constant evolution of this product, and this is where I'll sort of go into it a little bit later. So that's sort of, you know, that's exactly where I come from. To answer, I saw something about education or something. Did you study aquaculture at a uni or something, a science degree? No, I didn't. I learnt on the job and taught myself a lot. There's a hell of a lot you can learn in 15 years, especially if you've got a passion for it. And that's, you know, it's, although going to a university opens up a whole new education, you know, the ability for you to learn and excel in any industry, especially this one, is one, your passion to learn and your ability to not accept one way as the only way that things can be done. And secondly, someone who actually wants to spend the time to nurture your passion and teach you. And that's why I go out of my way to help people learn. I had people that helped me to learn. I had people that gave me the resources, or where I worked exposed me to the resources that then enabled me to learn on my own time. And so I try and give that back to whoever I can. And that really is our philosophy at Pure Aquatics as well. This is turning into a bit of a spiel. I don't mean to, but it's 2 out of 3 times when we have someone ring up, we'll just solve their problem and hang up the phone and not sell them a damn thing. That's just what we do. And this is over the theme over the last couple of live streams is that we don't get anywhere in this industry unless we help each other, unless we lean on each other, and unless we help each other develop. And I've been hammering that home for more than 10 years. Chris Talbot will tell you exactly that, because he thinks exactly the way that I do. And that's why we've kept in contact right back in the day when he was working at Majestic Aquariums and I was selling him aquarium supplements. And it's true. We don't get anywhere unless we band together and work together. Stronger as a group force than we are alone. This is why Paul has started this group, and this is why they take all nitrite, and they take inorganic carbon, which is essentially carbonates and bicarbonates. A lot of the literature you'll see will say carbon dioxide. No, that's not the case. It's alkalinity that they consume, and you can see it when ammonia and nitrite are consumed. Alkalinity goes down. CO2 doesn't go down. CO2 goes up because CO2 is a byproduct of their metabolism. So whenever you see nitrifying bacteria take ammonia or nitrite and CO2 and they turn it into nitrite or nitrate, that's incorrect. Ignore that. So take alkalinity and the product that they're trying to reduce or oxidize is more as it gets. Now, there are bacteria that will take, and usually it's 2 different sorts of bacteria that do the ammonia oxidization and the nitrite oxidization. We isolated a strain that does both ammonia and nitrite oxidization in one single strain. There are strains that take ammonia and reduce it back to nitrogen gas without ever producing nitrite. There's all sorts of different. Okay, so is this like, is the cutting out becoming a serious problem? Is that what you guys are saying? Like, if more than 2 of you guys are actually experiencing some serious issues here, then I think we're going to have no choice but to go back to Facebook Live and try it there. The actual YouTube studio platform that might be the problem, rather than using an encoder. What are we looking at here for? Okay, all right, three out of 3. All right, guys, I'm going to call it. I'll go live on the group on Facebook Live, and we'll continue there. So meet me back over there, and we'll continue there. Okay. We tried it; it didn't work. I'm going to have to try something different next time. Let's try it. Let's go back to Facebook Live and see what happens. Okay, I'll see you there in just a second. I'm going to start. All right, calling it quits here. See you in a sec.